Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the U.S., with an estimated 9,500 people diagnosed each and every day. The lifetime risk of developing this cancer is about 1 in 5 people, and the estimated cost of treating it each year is $8.1 billion. This morning, we're chatting with Dr. Benedict Ifedi about ways you can protect your skin this summer. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning. How's it going?
So let's talk about skin cancer, specifically the causes of it. What are they?
Yeah, so biggest risk factor for skin cancer is injury from the sun or sunburn. So one of the things we want to prevent, especially in these summer months, is making sure that you're applying ample sunscreen, a broad spectrum, at least SPF 30 or above. And when you look at protecting from the sun, we really worry about UV rays, particularly UVA and UVB. And if you get sunburned enough, that can affect the skin, cause an inflammatory reaction that could increase your risk of skin cancer. And the most dangerous one we potentially worry about is melanoma.
Melanoma. Dr. Ifedi, we also know all skin colors are prone to developing skin cancer. Nobody is immune from this.
Exactly right. So, when you look at people who are more fair skinned versus more dark skinned, if you have more melanin, there's a decreased risk of sunburn, skin injury, or skin cancer, but that risk is still there nonetheless. So the recommendation doesn't change as far as protecting yourself from the sun, whether it's, with a combination of sunscreen, being in cool areas, getting shade when you can, wearing a wide brimmed hat, and especially trying to avoid being outdoors if you can from the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. when those UV rays are the strongest.
What is the best type of sunscreen to use?
So we always recommend a broad spectrum with SPF, which stands for sun protection factor, at least 30 and above. And with that SPF 30 is going to block 97% of those bad UV rays. And you want to apply that every 2 hours, arguably more frequently if you're sweating a lot, or especially if you're swimming. And you want to apply a generous amount. One of the things that can happen is people will under apply and not remember to reapply. And that's going to be very important, especially if you're out, outdoors in the summer, whether it's at the beach, swimming pool, doing any type of outdoor activities.
This might be a silly question. Oftentimes when we talk about preventing sunburns and skin cancer, we talk about, things that you can apply topically. What about staying hydrated? Can that help combat the effects? If you have dry skin, are you more prone to burn at that point?
Yeah, exactly right. So definitely staying hydrated orally and then moisturizing your skin regularly. And one of the things that if you have sun exposure and you feel like you might be having skin burn, that we recommend is moisturizing real well with cool lotions like aloe vera gel, calamine lotion, and that's going to help to protect from some of the pain, the redness, the swelling that can happen from skin burn. And if you get symptoms such as blisters that are really painful, and if you have symptoms of feeling weak, nauseous, feverish, that may be the point where that sunburn may have turned more into like a partial thickness burn that might require a high level of care, either in urgent care or an ER.
Yeah, and that's not something anyone wants to have to deal with this time of year. Talk to us, Dr. Ifedi, about ways to keep babies safe from sun damage.
Yeah, so, biggest thing with babies is making sure that they are out of the sun. So, under a large umbrella, having them with a large brim hat, having them wear light colored clothing, and you want to apply sunscreen as well. But we do not recommend sunscreen in babies less than 6 months, just because it can cause some issues with them. But if they're above 6 months, you want to apply sunscreen, particularly to their face, their extremities, and again, that light colored clothing, and have them in ample shade and don't have them out in the sun.
And this is babies of all skin color too.
Exactly.
Making sure everyone's protected.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Anything else, Dr. Ifedi, you want to mention when it comes to protecting yourself from the sun?
Yeah, I think, just kind of reiterating, making sure to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. The spray sunscreen is good, though you want to make sure you have a good sheen on your skin and you rub it in very well. And then hydrating really good with water. If you're going to be doing any type of exercise that's really intense, also adding that electrolyte beverages as well. And if you see those symptoms of feeling lightheaded, feverish, nauseous, throwing up, reason to go to the ER because that sunburn may have turned more into a heat injury and potentially heat stroke.
Yeah, too much sun is not good. And I want to mention too, when you are choosing an SPF, look at the date. You want to make sure the SPF is not expired. These products do have an expiration date.
Yeah, exactly right. And there are times, and I've witnessed it myself, where I can't find the expiration date. And if you can't, the shelf life for most sunscreens are 3 years, and it's arguably less, especially if it's been exposed to high heat. But, definitely look at that expiration date to make sure that it's still good for you.
Yeah, all good information. Dr. Ifedi, always a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Absolutely.